Nasıl? Muhsin. Milli Eğitim Bakanlığımızın kıymetli mensupları,
Valuable members of our
saygıdeğer
Ministry of National
misafirler,
Education, distinguished
değerli
guests,
öğretmen adayları,
valuable
sizleri
candidates
kalbi
of
duygularımla,
teachers,
hürmetle,
I would like to
muhabbetle
greet you
selamlıyorum.
all wholeheartedly with longing, respect and affection.
Cumhurbaşkanlığı Külliyesi'ne, milletin evine
Welcome to
hepiniz
the
hoş geldiniz.
presidential complex. Welcome to the House of the Nation.
Bugün eğitim kadromuza dahil olacak 20 bin öğretmenimizin atama töreni
Today,
münasebetiyle
we have come
aradayız.
together for the ceremony for appointment of
Eğitim ve meslek
20,000
hayatımız
teachers who
açısından
will be part of
bu
our
özel
educational
günümüzde
sector.
sizlerle beraber
So
olmaktan,
I am very pleased to be together with
sevincinizi,
you and
heyecanınızı
share your
paylaşmaktan
excitement
büyük bir
and
memnuniyet
joy
duyuyorum.
on this meaningful day of your career.
Biraz sonra atamasını yapacağımız 20 bin
Shortly,
öğretmenimizin
20,000 of our teachers will be appointed for their workplaces, and I would like to congratulate each one of them separately as of now.
sizlere şimdiden
I wish all of you
Rabbimden muvaffakiyetler
success in your workplaces.
Sizlerin de marif ordumuza katılmasıyla
With your participation to our army of educators, the number of our teachers will reach approximately to 1,010,000. As we have come to power in 2002, as we have come to office in 2002, the number of our teachers were approximately 526,000. 750,000 of our teachers who are currently working have been appointed, of course, during our time. Maybe some of those teachers have retired already, but 750,000 of our teachers are appointed by us at the end of the day. Due to the lack of teachers and the infrastructure, unfortunately, many of the classes couldn't be taught even. Not only in rural areas, but also in the city centers, unfortunately, our kids had to continue their education in crowded classrooms. I remember our times. The class sizes were 60, 70, and even 80. And later on, the classroom sizes have reached 100 kids in certain Anatolian provinces. I remember those times that different classes were receiving education in the same rooms, and it was even luxurious to reach out to teachers from different branches. And we have put an end to this. And we have reached OECD level in terms of the number of students per teachers. And we have tackled the problem of idle classes. The budget allocated for education has been increased from 10.3 billion to 324 billion Turkish liras, and we have increased the number of our classrooms from 343,000 to 613,000, and by equipping our schools with the workrooms and sportive facilities and the computer labs. At the same time, we have provided the course books to our kids free of charge. In another saying, we have eradicated all those barriers which is preventing us from the educational development. In another saying, we have carried out a remarkable transformation in the last 20 years. Likewise, during the 28th of May process, many of our kids, many of our women have been subject to injustices. They didn't have the chance to work, let alone going to the university due to their clothing. Right now, 60% of our teachers, 60% of 1 million teachers are comprised of women. So right now, none of our citizens are forced to choose between either their religious beliefs or their careers and professions. Anyone who are willing to serve for this nation, for this country, can fulfill their duties without being subject to any injustices or limitations whatsoever. In order to ease the professional development of our teachers and improve the personal, social, and economic rights of our teachers, we have taken many important steps. Before us, the governments opted for politics based on the law on the teaching profession. Although it was articulated as a recommendation in all the educational council, the calls of our teachers have been overlooked many times. And thanks to our parliament and thanks to God, we have solved the problem of the enactment of the law on the teaching profession. Thanks to the law on the teaching profession, which was enacted as of this year, made sure that our teachers have a special law dedicated to them. By turning the teaching profession into a profession of career with the enactment of a specialty and expert teachers, we have provided additional personal rights to our teachers. 614,445 of our teachers have applied for expert teacher status. I am certain that all those teachers have completed the seminar programs through which they have improved their skill sets. Approximately 90,000 of our teachers who have completed the MA and PhD levels are already exempt from those exams. So I am certain that this process will be completed as our educational sector deserves. Of course, all those gains made certain people inside of our country being at unease. The ones who are dreaming for the dark clouds collapsing over our country, of course, couldn't digest all those developments. Frankly speaking, they are abusing such kind of an issue which indeed would serve for the best interest of our nation, our kids and our teachers. And I am quite saddened with the fact that they are even trying to abuse this issue. The ones who are calling for boycotting this process is nothing but an initiative with the bad will. So, are you the architects of education, or are you the freeloaders who wander in the streets? We are in need of teachers who will dedicate all their times to our kids, to our sons and daughters. So we don't need those freeloaders wandering in the streets. And together with the teachers, I'm very proud who dedicate all their times to our kids. An issue like education, which directly affects the future of our country, cannot be abused by politics, and it shouldn't lead to the provocation of our teachers. I know that our teachers will pay no credit to such calls of provocation. And as we carry out the appointment of our 20,000 teachers, I specifically request the aforesaid matters from our teachers.
Öğrencinin öğretmenine mektubunu öğrenciliğim zamanında
During my years as a student, a teacher has read me a letter by one of his students. It was a very meaningful letter,
öğrencinin başlayışı
and
çok farklıydı.
the student indeed started writing this letter quite differently.
Varlık sebebim diye başlıyor.
And the student defined his teacher as the reason of my presence, my being, my source of pride, my teacher, he was saying. So we are in need of teachers who will raise those kids.
Kısa süre önce ücretli çalışan öğretmenlerimize ve usta öğrencilerimizin ücretlerine yönelik de iyileştirmeler
We have
yaptık.
improved, of course, the salaries of our export teachers and also the scholarships of our students. And with the changes in the salaries as of July, we have improved the wages and the salaries of our teachers by 70%. In the upcoming period, of course, we will continue to support our teachers financially and economically. Dear friends, as the humanity for the last 2.5 years, we have fought with a pandemic. As the health aspect of this storm, this pandemic, ceased to exist, its impact on other fields became much more evident. This pandemic affected many areas, from the social relations to economic relations to the cultural interactions even. One of the fields that the pandemic affected the most is, of course, the field of education. As we speak with our teachers, they articulate that the greatest problem is our students who are physically present inside of the classrooms, but they are not present mentally, they say. And as we speak with our families, we see that they are also complaining about those matters, like being obsessed to the TV screens and the social media platforms. As a result, our kids are facing with all those challenges. In order to make sure that our kids can live their social lives in a healthy manner, we are showing our utmost efforts and endeavors, and we will continue to do so. But unfortunately, the popular culture disseminating from the social media channels are bringing along negative ramifications, and we should protect our kids from its negative consequences. And that's why, and that is what I specifically request from our teachers to pay attention to. So, with a two-pillar struggle, on one side there will be the teachers and on the other side there will be the students, we can really tackle this problem. And I do closely follow this initiative of reading our civilization quite closely, and I really appreciate and welcome the mobilization of learning our Turkish language much better. Our aim is to make sure that our kids can really understand our culture better and the values which make us much more better, and our aim is to make sure that our kids will understand the meaning of those territories, those soils. We want our kids to raise with our national values and national principles. We want our kids, who are the warranty of our future, to understand the sensitivities of the civilization in which they live in. When we also want our kids to
bu toprakların birikimine sabitlerken
put one of their
dolaşacak
feet
evrensel bir
to the
vizyona
values of this
kavuşsun.
territory, but at the same time to reach to
Çocuklarımız
a universal
kültürümüzün
vision,
taşıyıcısı olan
just
güzel
like it is
kültürümüzü
articulated in the compass
en
metaphor
doğru
of
şekilde
Mevlana. And we
kullanmak
want
becerisi
our kids to
edinsinler.
speak our
İstiyoruz ki
language in the
yeni
most beautiful
teknolojilerden,
manner. And
iletişim
we also
imkanlarından
want from
istifade
our
ederken
kids to make use of the
kendilerini bunlarla
communication
beraber gelen
technologies, but
risklerden,
at the same time being
tehditlerden de
aware of the threats
korusunlar.
and the risks which are
İçgüdür,
bringing along with
vicdanı
the
hür,
communication
irfanı
technology.
hür nesillere
We
sahip olmanın yolu
want the
popüler
generations with a
kültüre
clear
sorgusuz
consciousness
sualsiz
and
teslim
with a
olmaktan
clear
değil,
mind. And in order to realize
öncelikle
it, we
bizi biz
shouldn't
yapan
submit
has
ourselves
eseri
to this popular
içselleştirmek
culture,
gerekiyor.
but first and foremost, we should really
Elbette
internalize
kritik
our
süreçte
national values and principles.
devletimizin ilgili
Of course,
kurumları
during this
yanında
critical
siz
period, in
öğretmenlerimize,
addition to the
idarecilerimize, ebeveynlerimize
public
görevler
institutions and public
üstlendik.
bodies, the
Burada şu
teachers, and
hususlar
also
altını
the
özellikle
parents of our
çizmek
kids
istiyorum.
have great responsibilities. And there is a very important fact that I would like to underline here. As our parents are raising their kids, they shouldn't leave their kids to the cruel circle of the popular culture. It is really important. We should teach our values and principles meticulously, just like a goldsmith, which is inherited to us by our civilization. So with the understanding of the twig is bent, so grows the tree, we should give good examples from our own lives as we raise our kids, and we should attach importance to the spiritual development of our kids. We should increase the self-confidence of our kids, and we should inject them the spirit of entrepreneurship. Otherwise, the fresh minds of our kids will be invaded by those popular culture environments, which are indeed aliens to our national values and principles. Otherwise, we will lose our kids to those traps. And otherwise, again, we will not be able to prevent our kids to fall into those deviant lifestyles. Likewise, we see unfortunate events which lead us question where we are dragged into in our schools. And every day, as we are delayed even more in order to tackle those unfortunate events and those traps, will be a day lost for our future. I really appreciate the efforts and endeavors of our Ministry of National Education to raise high-quality kids, and I expect the parents and teachers to support this process. Valuable friends, each one of you indeed completed an education process lasting 16 years, and you have come to this point. You have put a lot of efforts, and you worked day and night in order to realize your ideals. You have made many sacrifices. With the understanding of there is no gain without a pain, you have worked you will see the places where you are appointed to, and I know that with what kind of a picture I will be encountering with after you are being appointed. I know that this excitement is not in vain, and hopefully you will inject this excitement and joy in your hearts to your kids. From this day on, you are saying hello to a brand new life as teachers. Together with your own future, you will also undertake important responsibilities for the future of our country and our nation. You will be raising the mothers, fathers, and at the same time the human capital that our country will need in the future. You will contribute remarkably in a unique fashion for the building of bright and prosperous Turkey of future. As you teach new things, you will learn new things as well, and you will develop yourselves all the time. Your students will look at you with inspiration and with awe, and you will teach them how to become good citizens first of all. And you will turn into mothers in which the orphans and the motherless child will seek shelter. And the day will come, you will be the guides of your students as they shape their futures. Of course, by teaching, you will earn your sustenance, but it is no ordinary job and it is no ordinary public service. So you are undertaking a very important responsibility which cannot be limited to the building of your schools. I am certain that each one of our teachers are perceiving their profession with such kind of an understanding. With the consciousness of the responsibilities that you are shouldering, hopefully you will fulfill your duties in the best way possible. As you are teaching your courses every day, please do not forget that you are shaping the future of this country and you are showing the direction to this country as we march forward to the future. And do not forget that you are the source of hopes of not only the Turkish citizens, but 100 millions of the oppressed who are looking at our country. May God open your path forward. So, as I conclude my remarks, I wish every one of you success in your sacred duties, in your sacred profession. I would like to thank and congratulate your parents and your teachers who raised all of you, and I congratulate each one of our teachers who will be appointed all around the Turkey, and I entrust you all to God. May you all stay healthy and safe.
Şükranlarımızı ve saygılarımızı sunuyoruz ve Zaltı Devletleri'ni bir müddet daha sahnede tensip buyurursanız misafir etmek isteriz öncesinde diye takdimi, sonrasında da 20.000 öğretmen atama törenimiz için efendim. Efendim şimdi Milli Eğitim Bakanımızı günün anısına Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza hediyelerini takdim etmek üzere bir kez daha alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyoruz. Buyursunlar Sayın Bakanım. Efendim bizler de önce Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza ve tüm konuklarımıza hediyemizin muhtevasından bahsetmek isteriz. Efendim bu hediyemiz Hattat Ziyad Mühendis tarafından yapılan tek eser olup özel olarak hazırlanan orijinal Celil Sülüs ayeti kerime meali her şeyin hükümranlığı elinde olan Allah'ın şanı yücedir. Siz yalnız ona döndürüleceksiniz yazmaktadır. Şu anda Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza bakanımız tarafından takdim ediliyor. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz.